welcome to the DVD, the Ultimate Podcast for women over 40 who are ready to take control of their health, ditch the diets, and lose weight for good. Y'all, I'm your host and coach, Danya Powers, and I'm super excited to be here today. It is a Monday in my world. This will be releasing on a Tuesday. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I've got a new series starting, and I try to have my podcast match up with those things because we're going to be talking about a season that I do believe that we have happened more often than not, and we don't talk about it enough. And that is the rebuild season. It's not the surgery. Yes, the surgery happens, or the injury happens, or the death in the family happens. That stuff. It's not the transformation photos. It's really the middle part, and we're going to be focusing on that a lot because there wasn't really anybody encouraging me during that, and I want to be the encouragement that I needed during this season. There wasn't really anybody understanding what I was going through, and I'm talking the fog, the fatigue, the part where you feel really disconnected from your own body and you really just don't even understand why. And I remember saying to Kelly at the gym, the one that owns Co Strength and Fitness, I remember saying to her, like, I feel like a stranger in my body. I feel like I don't know how to move it like I used to. And that is a weird thing to say, but at the same time, it's not, because if I was talking to somebody else about this and they told me I had a hysterectomy and I just felt weird, I felt like I couldn't move the same way. Well, our entire center of gravity is located within our hips and our pelvis, and we've removed the major organ that has been with us since we were conceived. Um, you know, so yeah, you're definitely gonna feel different, I think. I think that that's normal. And maybe I was the only freak of Mizzou that felt like that, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because being honest with you, 15 months, it's been 15, 16 months. I can't even do math. But post hysterectomy, there just was that stretch where I was like ready to give up, where I didn't feel like myself at all. And everybody that was coming to me about their hysterectomy was more along the lines of, yeah, I gained 35 pounds and I can't lose it. Yeah, I've done this and I can't lose it. Yeah, I just kept gaining weight and I can't lose it. Yeah, I feel like crap. Yeah, I've had to get on hormone replacement, which I don't have any problem with, but it was just like nothing, there was no encouragement within it. I'm the encouragement for you. I want to be that for you. I want to make sure that you feel that today. Because the parts where I didn't feel like myself weren't just physically. I my strength felt really flat. I was not progressing. I was not getting stronger. I genuinely, no matter what I did for a long period of time, my body was taking all of my nutrition and healing this physical wound in my body and the hormones and everything that comes with that. And I couldn't put on muscle like I used to. I had the hardest time putting on muscle. My energy even felt really muted. Um, I My confidence felt very quiet. And to be honest with you, I am in the throes of making some very dramatic, exciting, terrifying, wonderful changes in my business to grow it so big, and to be going through a physical setback where weight gain is part of it in the middle of all of this. Ugh, sister, it's been very discouraging for me. That messes with you more than people realize. It messes with you as a woman that is in front of the camera, you know, 10, 15, 20 times a week. It's humiliating on some level. It's, I'm not okay with. I was not okay. I'm not okay with gaining weight in front of you. I'm not. It looks like I'm not doing the things that I should. And I'm not perfect, but it's felt very lonely on this side of the camera. I'm not going to lie. I have felt very alone. Um anyway, when you felt years feeling really capable in your body, and suddenly you don't. And this is not the first time that I've gone through this. Like when I went through my menopausal weight gain, I felt really similar to this, but this one, it was just much more of a gut punch because I did absolutely everything right. I did absolutely everything right. And to have everybody questioning me was having me question everything as well. It was having me question everything that I knew, having me question who I was. Did I actually know what I was doing? Should I quit doing this? I don't, I went through this entire self-doubt period. And I think that's a good thing. I'm not going to lie, I really do. I think the moments that you're having an identity crisis, um, that you're having those uh, moments where you don't feel like you deserve it, where obviously you've lost it. It's like an imposter syndrome. Um, I think that's a really good place to be because you really can grow from there. And I just remember thinking, like, at one point, I was like, I guess this is just how I'm going to feel now. I have to get used to being this size. I was being, told to coach as a plus size coach, which I don't have a problem with. I admire many of the plus size coaches in my industry. None of us, except for a couple of us, want to stay plus size. We want to be the healthiest version of ourselves, and it's not attached to a shape or size, but it's not like we're trying to stay obese. We are doing everything we can to stay super healthy. So I'm not saying like, oh, being plus size is bad. I stay pretty easily around a size 12. But this was definitely bumping me up to like a size 14. So this is not a huge jump, but for me it felt massive. You know, we all have our no zones, and I was there. And I just was like, well, maybe this is 50. Just like I did when I hit my 40s and started gaining. It's like, well, crap, maybe this is 50. And maybe this is my new normal. And all the same thoughts. Imposter syndrome. It's real. And I know so many women that walk through hysterectomies. I know so many women that walk through hormone shifts, menopausal transitions. Nobody prepares you for the rebuild, the middle. Nobody walks you through the rebuild, the middle. There's always a, oh yeah, this happened, and then you have the end. It's like when you look at a piece of exercise equipment, a machine, let's say a chest press at the gym. Those machines, the instructions on them infuriate me. You have the beginning and you have the end. But the work is actually in the middle. And it's so important that people realize that the work is happening in the middle of that push. It's not happening at the start and it's not happening at the extension. It's happening in the middle of that. And that's so true for everything in our lives. And everybody talks about the procedure, like whatever procedure for it was. We're talking for my story about a hysterectomy. Nobody really talks about what happens after the body has to relearn itself, and if it's even normal. And I want to normalize that for you today because when women hit that season, most of them respond the only way that diet culture has ever taught us to respond, especially Generation X and the boomers. We've been hit hard with starve. And I'm watching it happen in this next generation with all this crap going around right now, but that's a whole nother story. But we're taught to starve. We're taught to push harder, eat less, do more cardio, force your way back, pull yourself up. You can do this. You're not doing it right. You clearly are not doing something right. That pressure is there. But this particular rebuild season did not respond to force. It did not. It responded to continuing consistently and being patient. It responded to fueling. It responded to not fighting it, leaning into the recovery side of it. And here's what's happening physiologically that I think all of us need to understand. And I have to tell myself this as well, because even though I know it, you have to remind yourself of these things. Okay. After 40, muscle mass really starts to decline if we're not strength training consistently. Well, guess what you can't do after you've had major surgery? Strength train consistently. So I lost about 12 weeks. Every single time I lifted up, they were like, oh, at 6 weeks, you should be able to lift. That is not true after hysterectomy. That is not true. My pelvic floor was crap after this surgery. And I had to go to pelvic floor therapy and learn how to. I was actually taking all of my insides and pulling it up so tight that I was keeping myself in pretty constant pain. And so I could not. Every time I lifted, I felt horrible for days and days and was not able to sleep and not able to, pee comfortably, all that stuff. My dog is so massively crazy. Um, I think my son must be coming home from work, but muscle mass starts to really decline after the age of 40. It just does. And if we're not pushing to strength train consistently, There's not going to be that moment that you start to regain that muscle, and then you have the metabolism shift. And I see it happen in other women. I do it for clients all the time. It's a whole nother thing to believe it for yourself. Even I know clients walk through so much doubt. The moment that you've started to put fat back on, we've had muscle loss for whatever reason. Your body's communicating to us. And so if you're super consistent, like I was being consistent, we have to lean into that. It may mean that you need to increase your protein higher than you thought that you should, which sounds so silly, but at the same time, the body can only work with what it has. And if we've lost a lot of muscle and we haven't strength trained consistently, as we're trying to put muscle back on, sometimes we have to really refeed the body to get that to happen. Muscle is what drives our metabolism. Muscle is what drives our strength, our body composition. So when muscle drop, fat gain becomes so much easier. And when that happens, energy becomes lower. And you start to, when it happens. You know when it happens. It's when you start to have to take a nap every day. And let's not forget hormones in the middle of all this. Add any kind of shifts to that, and now you have sleep disruption. Now you have inflammation, and suddenly women feel like their body has changed overnight. And I realize it didn't change overnight. It changed gradually. I put on 15 pounds of muscle. I felt so confident walking into the surgery. This is going to be no big deal. Do you know how fast you lose 15 pounds of muscle? Oh, sister, it went fast. I felt great, to be honest with you, after the surgery. I felt great. I felt so good walking into this, and it wasn't any big deal. It was about week 13, I think, when I had really started back. Every workout felt like garbage. I could tell felt like I was working backwards. And the best analogy, even though it was gradual and it needed to be rebuilt intentionally, the best analogy that I can give you is that it felt less like bouncing back and more like rebuilding a house after a storm. Like after a really bad storm, you're not repainting the walls first. That's not first. You're going in and reinforcing the foundation. You're making sure that you have a perfect foundation that's going to hold your house. With a weak foundation, the failures that will happen with your home are catastrophic. It's not glamorous work and it's slow, but that is what will make the house stand long term. And that's what I had to shift my focus back to. Basics, really, really big basics. Strength training, macronutrients, specifically protein. I was eating more protein. Back to my water, back to my steps, and saying this out loud every day. This is all going to show up because I'm doing all the right things. This is all going to show up because I'm doing all the right things. I had to make sure that I can, no matter the doubt, that I continue to fuel my body instead of under eating, hoping for faster fat loss. We all want that. Like, ooh, add an extra cardio. The problem is if you don't add the extra food to help support the extra work, it's going to have to go find those calories somewhere. If you're already in a deficit, you have to be really careful playing with deficits. Muscle does not rebuild in starvation. I can't emphasize that enough. When I take a client that is coming off of a GLP-1, the very first thing that we do is struggle to learn how to eat food. And I could not be more incredibly disappointed in the medical industry right now for how little they follow up care require. They shouldn't be allowed to prescribe GLP-1s if they're not prescribing the workout regimen and the nutrition that goes along with that, because you are, in my opinion, potentially killing people without realizing it. Losing weight is great. Starving to get there, now there's damage, and some of it's permanent. And I don't jive with that. So if you're a doctor listening to this, get your shiitake mushrooms together and learn how to make sure people are eating. I don't care if you're not supposed to. You're not just doing this to make money. If you got into this to heal people, do your job. Thank you. That is my TED Talk for the day. Muscle will not build in starvation, and that is why GLP-1s can work with you or against you. So you have to make sure that you're being super smart. I actually have a program called Beyond the Shot that I put people on when they are coming to me while on a GLP-1 or post a GLP-1. I do not, I am not, I watch coaches prescribe GLP-1s all the time. That's not me. I do believe that it's better to do things without it if you can help it. But at the same time, I'm happy to support you on your journey. And everybody's journey is a little bit different. And just a little bit of GLP-1 can go a long way. These big doses of it, unless you are dying, I just don't agree with them. Energy doesn't stabilize when your body feels under threat. So you have to keep that in mind. So if you're doing anything to make it feel under threat, it's not going to have any kind of stable anything. And so after a surgery, everything's really slow. It's not overnight. Things did start shifting, but it's been in the last probably 4 weeks, 5 weeks that I've noticed, started to really notice changes. And this is not from lack of working out. I hit my workouts. I don't miss. I hit my workouts. I don't miss. But it's slow. My lifts started to feel strong again. I started to play with lifting heavier than I have in a long time, and that was great. My sleep started stabilizing again. Um, I've got a great supplement that I take for that, but it's not like a sleeping pill or anything. It's like a magnesium glycinate mixed with melatonin, and it is called Magnesium, and it's Moon Juice is the company that I get that from. I do not have a shopping link for them at some point, hoping to partner with them, but so far that has come up dry. But I do really love that particular product. Um, my sleep started stabilizing. My energy really just came back online. I found my smile again. That has been huge in my world because I'm working on a lot right now. There are a lot of irons in the fire. Like I said, we're growing my company. We're in a state of growth. A growth state is always a faith journey. It's true for my business and my hysterectomy journey. They kind of have gone hand in hand. And yes, I'm going to say that women deserve to hear about the other parts too, because intimacy and those different things are a big struggle within all of this. My sex drive was just non existent after the hysterectomy, and my hormone testing is normal. She was like, I would think I was looking at a 25-year-old. And I was like, really? One without a uterus? I just don't get it. But somewhere in the midst of all this, my sex drive has also come back and come back really strong. And I'm super thankful for that. And that matters. That matters. Feeling at home in your body, that's huge. That is huge. I think I did a reel talking about that. Just feeling at home in my body. And I don't think I really realized how badly I had gotten away from who I was within that, or how deep the fog was, until I really started coming out of it. And I'm just like, wow, my family really put up with this. And that's why I've been talking so much about the rebuild season, um, because women need to know that you're not broken. Your body has not betrayed you. It's just rebuilding. You're just rebuilding, and it's okay to be there. It's okay to be in that space. I used to. I heard a sermon once talking about your gap. It was Pastor Chris Stevens at Faith Promise when he was the lead pastor. He was talking about the gap season, and when you're in your gap, nothing seems to be happening, and that's true for rebuilding after anything, a marriage ending, rebuilding, a job ending, rebuilding, coming out of school, building, all these things. They're rebuilding. Well, a gap season's no different. What happens in a gap is it's in the in between. And this is a gap season and a rebuilding season. You are becoming better and more as long as you lean into it and don't run away from it. But in the meantime, it just feels like you're stuck. It just feels like nothing's moving. It just feels like you're not going anywhere. And it takes patience. And that is something that diet culture never taught us to have. Because if you didn't lose 10 pounds in the first month, did you actually do anything? Is what people tell us. And that's not what I teach. And that's not what I believe, because you have to take the consistency without the immediate gratification. It cannot be there. It cannot do that. You have to take trusting the process long enough to see the payoff. You have to. And I'll also share something that really supported me during the season. This is a great time to bring this product up. And that is, I partnered with a company called Zevo Life, which I haven't finished it yet. I tried a new flavor. I put emergency powders with it, and I tried a new flavor with it. And I'm not super crazy about the actual emergency powders, so I'm trying to get adjusted to it. But I kind of like the more citrus pop tastes a little bit better with it. It has kind of long-term health, and just making sure my mic is still working. Yeah, I keep hearing a boop in my ear. Um, And so, but this is actually Zevo Life is a microalgae superfood that you just take 1 teaspoon of it every day. And it's an incredibly affordable product, but it also supports gut health. And the reason that I started taking it was one of the testimonials that I read about was talked about stomach pain. And I had had stomach pain first thing in the morning for years. I always drink water first thing in the morning. But this supports your gut health. And so it actually sets up a healthy microbiome. It's filled with fiber. It's got steady energy. It does help with inflammation. That's one of the things that I have definitely noticed about just different things that were inflamed when I'm taking this consistently. I feel so much better, just a lot less inflamed. So this is just for overall wellness. It's not a cure-all, but it's important when your body's already navigating stuff like hormone shifts and recovery. It's not magic, but it's another foundational tool that you can put in your tool belt for the bigger picture of health. So if you ever want to try it, go to zevo.life and use my code, the Diva Deets, and you'll get 30% off, which is their biggest discount that they offer. So I do hope that you will enjoy it. This is a paid partnership of mine, but I partnered with them because I really do believe in this product. So it's zevo.life and use my code, the Diva Deets. You will not regret that. Okay, back to the bigger message today. And whether you're in a rebuild season right now, whether it's post surgery, whether it's hormone shifts, or if it's just midlife body changes, I want to make sure that I emphasize this enough. Your body is not betraying you. That's what it felt like to me, but that's not what's happening. It's not broken. It's really not. You are just rebuilding. And the rebuild seasons do pay off when you stay consistent long enough to come out of the fog. And if you want support working on this structure, working in the middle, working in this season with your nutrition and strength and your lifestyle, all of these different things. This is exactly the work that I do, my one-on-one coaching. I'm an online coach, and that's what I do. That's what I offer. If you will message me on Instagram at Danya Powers EC or Facebook at Danya Powers, message me the word ready, and we could talk about what that support looks like for you. But until next time, I do hope that you find your middle of the road, your groove in the middle of the road is kind of what I have found. I do hope that that finds you. In the midst of all of this, I have found hope again. And in a long time, it's been nice to feel hopeful. So I'm super thankful for that. But until next time, you guys, stay strong, stay consistent. Thanks for tuning into this latest episode of the Diva Deets. If this helped you and you found it valuable, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Ready for more support? Join my free Facebook community or join my coaching community. The details are in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas.